Hi, Ant the Blacksmith. So I've never made punches before, and I need some punches. So today we're going to be making ourselves a couple of little punches here. Tools we'll be using will be Mr. Big Tong for the bigger punch, and then Mr. Small Tong for the smaller punch, and then a nice little 2.5 pound rounding hammer for shaping. If anybody's unaware what punches are, they're great little tools to have around the shop. Mostly they're used for punching holes in the metal, but there's all kinds of different punches for different types of jobs. But today we're just going to be making ourselves some simple little punches for making holes, because I've never made punches before, and yeah, so wish me luck, but let's get these punches made.
Alrighty, first things first, we gotta heat the metal up, get it nice and hot. And then my goal here is to square up this stock a little bit, because you gotta square it before you round it. Just kidding. Well, kind of not kidding. You gotta square it to, at least I find it a lot easier to draw things down to a point once it's squared. So we're just squaring it up, drawing it out, drawing it to a little kind of point, not a full point, little baby point, not all the way pointy. And then once we kind of get that little kind of point, square-ish point at the end, we'll start rounding it up by hitting those corners in. First, we gotta do a little refinement before we hit those edges in. And this is where the magic happens. This is where we take our nice square point and make it a circle-ish round one. Then I like to just kind of rotate the piece in my tongs as well. Get a nice circle-ish round point.
I think I got it. Ha! Here is the small one. I'm trying to see. I can't tell if that. I think it's straight. It looks pretty straight. But yeah, small punch is done. Slight little problem. Mr. Small Tongs was a little too small, so it kept trying to bounce around on me. But yeah, besides that, I mean, it's looking pretty good. So on to the next one.
Similar to what we did before, we gotta square down, draw her down to a point. This one's gonna be a little thicker of a point, less pointy than the last. We're gonna make bigger holes with this one. Then once we get this all nice and kind of refined in a nice square shape, we'll start doing like we did before. We're gonna hit those corners in and then start rounding it up. Hold on, just had to do a little more refinement. Now, here we are. Let's round this up real quick. This one's was a little bit harder to round up, mostly due to just it being a thicker steel. But just had to kind of keep rotating it around, hitting those edges in, and then kind of making it a nice circle-ish shape, circle-ish round shape.
Alrighty, we got the bigger boy done right here. I don't think it turned out quite as good as the small one. We ended up having to pull out the thick biscuits here, the big boy, get some metal moving. But yeah, so next up is going to be an attempt at heat treating. You can't have punches without heat treating them. And I'm not very good at heat treating. But you gotta practice, right? So let's get these normalized and then quenched and then tempered. Back in the forge it goes. Alrighty, so remember how I said this is my first time ever making punches? This is S7 steel, and I was doing a little bit of research into the heat treat before I started quenching and all that. And I remembered reading before, like, because I did do some research on the metal before I started forging it. But apparently you can air harden it. Never done that before. So, and then apparently it can't normalize in air because of, well, the whole air hardening quality of the steel. So that's what we're trying. We're just going to let it cool down and see if it air hardens. And then we'll temper it. And the tempering is going to be in a toaster oven, so it's not going to be perfect. I just hope they don't, like, run away or explode or do anything like that. But, yeah, please be nice to me in the comments about this. I suck at heat treating. Trying to get better, though. Trying to do research. But, you live and you learn. Alrighty, update on the heat treat. Little boy, I think it took it. It seems hard. The file's skirting across it. I think this one's good. Ready to go to temper. The bigger boy, maybe not so much. The file isn't really digging into it too much, but it kind of dug into it a little bit. So I'm not 100% sure if this one is completely hardened, but these are just going to be used for a few projects. And they're my first punches. I just wanted to see if I can make them. So I'm not going to stress about it too much, or I'm going to try not to stress about it too much. But, yeah. So we'll get these into the tempering oven, which is a toaster oven, and we'll be done. Alrighty guys, tempering cycle is done, and for those who are unaware what tempering is, it pretty much takes this hard brittle metal after you harden it, it makes it a little bit softer, so it doesn't explode into 1,000 pieces, which hopefully it wouldn't actually do that, but that's the whole concept of it, it's just to soften it up a little bit. But we're going to run one more tempering cycle, but I'm going to do that off camera because it is getting late. So this is going to be the end of the video, so thank you guys for watching. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below. And if you guys would like additional content, check out my link tree, which will have my Patreon, Etsy, and all my other socials over there. But thank you guys again for watching. And until next time, adios.